Welcome to the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you never miss a jaw-dropping moment. Enjoy watching. I never thought a single dinner could change everything I believed about my career, my marriage, and even myself. But that night proved me wrong. My name is Michael, and I've always considered myself a calm, level-headed man. I'm the kind of guy who keeps his emotions in check, who measures every action, every word, every step before making a move. That control had served me well in my career, in my friendships, and in my relationship with Claire. Until that night, I thought nothing could shake the foundation I had built. It all started with her promotion dinner. Claire had been working tirelessly for years at the firm, climbing the ladder, earning respect, and finally, that evening, recognition. I wanted to be supportive. I thought I would walk into the restaurant, sit quietly, smile politely, maybe even say a few encouraging words. It was supposed to be a night about her achievements, a celebration of hard work and success. But what happened instead felt like a calculated trap designed to humiliate me, to expose me in a way I never saw coming. The restaurant was elegant, dimly lit, the kind of place where business deals often whispered across tables, where laughter was always measured, never too loud, never too careless. Claire's colleagues were already there, and her boss, Richard, a man I had met only a handful of times, was seated at the head of the table. He was the type of person whose smile never reached his eyes, whose compliments carried the weight of expectation and judgment. I walked in, trying to maintain composure, holding the door for Claire as she arrived, her dress impeccable, her hair perfectly styled. She smiled at me, a little nervous, a little anxious, but I thought nothing of it. After all, this was her night. We sat. I tried small talk, gentle conversation, a few polite compliments to her colleagues. Everything seemed normal, at least for the first few minutes. Then it happened. Richard cleared his throat, and the tone in the room shifted instantly. "Michael," he said, eyes flicking over me like I was a piece of furniture that didn't belong there. "Are you really here?" His voice was calm, almost casual, but it carried an edge sharper than any knife I'd ever felt. Claire tensed beside me, her hand brushing mine briefly, but not stopping. "Not enough." "Of course I'm here," I said, forcing a smile. "I'm here for Claire." Richard leaned back, smirking. "Well, that's generous of you. But honestly, we were thinking this night should be about Claire. You know, celebrate her achievements, not weigh her down." The words hit me like a punch to the stomach. Dead weight. That's what he called me, in front of the entire table. Every colleague, every friend, every manager who knew her was looking. Some smiled politely, some didn't hide the faint amusement, and Claire didn't say anything. Her eyes didn't meet mine. She didn't even flinch. She just sat there, frozen, letting it happen. My chest tightened. My mind raced. I tried to speak, to defend myself, but every word caught in my throat. I had always believed in politeness and measured responses. But this was beyond that. This was personal. This was humiliation in front of everyone I respected and everyone I loved. Richard didn't stop. He continued, his voice dripping with condescension. "I think it's better if you just step outside, Michael. Let the professionals handle tonight." Step outside. Those words were like fire. I could feel the heat spreading from my chest to my face. I looked at Claire, expecting at least a glance, a sign that she would defend me, that she would stand up. But she didn't. She looked away. I stood up slowly, heart pounding. My hands clenched at my sides. Every step I took toward the door felt like the world around me was moving in slow motion. The murmurs at the table blurred into white noise. I could hear someone laughing softly, but it didn't matter. It was all irrelevant. What mattered was the sting of betrayal, humiliation, and shock all wrapped into one. I was being thrown out of my wife's promotion dinner by her boss, and she, the woman I had supported for years, didn't even open her mouth to stop it. Outside, I leaned against the cool wall, trying to calm down. I could feel the rage building, a slow, simmering anger that grew with every breath. I replayed the moment over and over in my mind. Dead weight. Step outside. The audacity. The disrespect. And then I realized something even worse than the words themselves. Claire didn't seem upset. She didn't seem angry on my behalf. She didn't even seem uncomfortable. She seemed resigned. As if this was expected. As if my presence had always been a liability to her. I waited. I needed to decide. My usual calm, my usual control told me to walk away, to let it go, to avoid creating a scene that would make me look foolish. But something inside me snapped. Not just anger, but clarity. This wasn't about politeness. This wasn't about restraint. This was about boundaries, respect, and justice. No one had the right to treat me like that. No one. And the fact that Claire didn't stop it, didn't even try, meant that she had accepted it. The next day I called Richard's office. My voice was calm, measured, polite, completely unlike the storm I felt inside. I asked to speak with the HR director, explained what happened, recounted every word, every gesture, every smirk. I didn't cry, I didn't beg, I didn't shout. I simply told the truth. And the response was immediate. HR launched an investigation. Emails were collected. Witnesses were interviewed. I didn't stop there. I contacted the company's legal team, presented the evidence, and requested that appropriate action be taken. By the end of the week, Richard was no longer part of the company. Fired. Terminated. And it was not just for what he said to me, but for the culture of disrespect he perpetuated, the humiliation he inflicted, and the clear favoritism that undermined the professional environment. Claire and I didn't talk for days. I wasn't angry at her. I was disappointed. Disappointed that the person I had supported, the person I had believed in, allowed herself to become part of the disrespect, the betrayal, the public humiliation. But I also realized something crucial that night. My worth is not measured by anyone else's opinion, my boundaries are not negotiable, and my voice, once raised with clarity and calm, can create consequences far beyond what anyone anticipates. I didn't just win a professional battle. I reclaimed my self-respect. I reclaimed control over my life, my decisions, and my dignity. That night at the promotion dinner would never be erased from memory, but neither would the lesson it taught me. Never tolerate humiliation, never accept being treated like less than you are, and never, ever underestimate the power of calm, calculated action.